Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Dropping Knowledge with Noah. And this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. We're not having a guest appear, but it is me just kind of ranting about what I like to call cradle to cradle retailing. So if you've heard me present, in the recent past, you've probably heard me mention this phrase. So really what cradle to cradle retailing is keeping your customers coming back. So it's different from cradle to grave where, you've sold that customer and, they're off doing their own thing. Instead, we're getting them into that next life cycle of working with you at the dealership. So for example, right, you sell that person a car, you get them into service that vehicle, keep them coming back. And then when it's time for them to buy their next car, they're coming back to you. Pretty simple, right? But here are a couple of tips that I think will help you in your journey towards cradle to cradle retailing. So we're going to switch over to here and talk about it. Number one is really utilizing a digital sales process. Now, this is way more than just having a digital retailing solution on your website. That's great, right? Step one, have that solution on there. And it's good because, if we can get people to, go through a digital retailing tool, on average, we're seeing about 15% higher gross profit per deal and a 65% higher close rate. Now, the challenge here is, if your DR tool is doing really well, maybe it's half of your form leads that are coming through. And if your site in general is doing really well, maybe you've got a 4% form conversion rate. What about the, 70% of your other leads that are coming in, like from phone calls or e-price leads or folks who just walk into the store? How do we get them to, have that higher gross profit per deal and higher close rate? Well, it's pretty simple, right? Well, you got to get them into that digital retailing workflow. So if they're calling in, right, you've got a BDC, you've got a salesperson answering that call, you're getting that person's information, phone number, email address, whatever, and you're sending them a link to a digital retailing deal, right? Either you pulling it up on your website, setting it up, or you're using a solution like Cox Automotives, right? Obviously, I'm coming from Cox, so I'm going to highlight this new solution. It's called Deal Central. You can create a deal from scratch, send them to them, and get them into that workflow. That way, they're doing more of the steps of buying the car at home. You're saving time in the dealership. You're getting that higher gross profit. You're getting that higher close rate for everybody, right? So that's step one. All right, let's talk about step two. You sold the car, right? Let's get them into that service life cycle. And that's where it's really important to train your salespeople to take that shopper, and really a buyer now, over to your service department, introducing them, and also scheduling their first service appointment. Now, this is a study we did back in 2017. It's a little bit old, but check out the stat here, right? If we can get that person to schedule their first service, their likelihood to return to the service department with you is 2.3 times higher than those that didn't. So that supports that lifelong, customer relationship that you have at the dealership. So they're spending money in your fixed ops department, which is paying your bills, right? And they're having a good experience. They're also keeping that dealership in your ecosystem, so that that vehicle is serviced correctly because you got your techs or OEM certified techs servicing that vehicle, making sure it's in good condition, et cetera, et cetera. So then when it's time for them to buy their next vehicle, hey, we are getting them into that next life cycle. So this is where activating your service drive for acquisitions is really important. So using a data miner, an equity miner, activate your shopper behavior data, and identifying those folks who are coming into the service drive who have equity in their vehicle and are exhibiting buying behaviors, right? So that you can send them personalized offers. Hey, we can get you out of your 2019 Civic into a 2025 Civic for the same payment or even less, right? And we'll even, acquire that vehicle, take care of everything, make it super simple and easy to do, right? So keeping an eye on that service drive, sending out offers to those shoppers. And here's the thing too, this is a study from NADA of 2024. There's 270 million repair orders written in 2024. I'm guessing that there's a lot of low-hanging fruit in those ROs that are coming through of vehicles that you can acquire for, less than going out to your auctions or, spending time checking out Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, trying to get vehicles from those sources. Rather, you've got your customers who are already coming to you, right? They're in your service drive. It's your own kind of personalized private auction lane that only you have access to. So take advantage of it. Activate that user behavior data so you know who's in market. Activate your equity data so you know what their equity position is, and send them offers. And, better yet, go back and send them a digital retailing offer, popping in their trade-in information, have that pre-penciled and ready to go, and then you've got them back into that DR workflow. So a couple of things, right? Let's highlight the three big things. Every lead gets a link to a digital deal. Step one, right? Just drill that into your team. Number two, introduce every sales customer to that service team. Book their first service at time of sale, right? Get them into that service life cycle. And then when they are in that service life cycle, when it is time for them to get their next vehicle, maybe they're exhibiting some buying behavior, or maybe they're, coming up against a really big repair bill, now's a good time for you to send them an offer to acquire that vehicle and sell them that next vehicle and get them into that digital deal workflow. All right. So that's it for me. This was a quick one this week. I'm trying to get back on the horse of getting some drop-in knowledge videos out there. Next week, I got some special guests. We're going to be talking about using software to enhance your service drive with my counterpart, Skylar Chadwick. So be sure to check that out. And thanks again for watching Drop-in Knowledge with Noah.